Welcome to our show, Obsessed, where we talk about cryptids, mythology, folklore, and whatever else we're currently obsessed with. I'm Caitlin Palmer.
And I'm Clay.
And we're
Obsessed.
Well, good evening.
No, you can't start yet. I gotta get in this chair.
Oh, excuse me. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good day, or good night. Whatever it is, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, we're glad you're here.
I really thought you were gonna start singing.
Oh, I guess I could have. So I would like to start today's episode with Caitlin's holiday soapbox.
Oh, here we go.
So I would just like to put out a PSA just to be mindful if you're going to bring home a new pet for the holidays. It is the holidays. You know, I get it. People want the shelters to clear. You want to bring home a new puppy, a new kitten, a bearded dragon, whatever it is. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying to be mindful. For example, Bluey is very big right now. I myself am a big Bluey fan. We've got a big inflatable Bluey out front. You can't miss our house. But even liking Bluey, an Australian cattle dog is not the dog for us.
It's not the dog for a lot of people.
It's not. They're good dogs. And for the right people, they're great. We have a German Shepherd puppy. We are German Shepherd people. We've had them before. That little bitch is on crack.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anybody else to take care of our little crack baby.
I love our crack baby. But, I mean, I'm just saying, just be mindful. If you're going to bring home a new pet, just do right by the pet. The only thing the shelters want more than to empty the shelters is to empty the shelters and them not come back.
Yeah. Australian cattle dogs are extremely high energy.
Sure. And there's lots of dogs especially, because, I mean, I love all cats. But there's a lot of breeds. Like, I really, really like them as individuals, but they're not the breed for me. You know, they're not conducive with our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's okay. The other thing I would like to point out is if during your holiday travels you see something you like, you better fucking get it, because it's not going to be there when you go back. So we went on a holiday crawl of all of the Dirt Cheaps because they're going out of town. Is Dirt Cheap a regional thing, or is that everywhere?
I think it's a regional thing, but there's enough of them.
Okay, so there's a place called Dirt Cheap, and it's not actually Dirt Cheap, which is probably why it's going out of business.
It used to be.
It used to be Dirt Cheap. But they had, they had these little stocking holders, and it was a boy and a girl deer, and it was really, really, really sweet. And I didn't get it because it was supposed to be a 4-piece, and it was missing 2 pieces, and I was like, no, it's not that much of a discount at this time. I'm not going to get it. I have searched for the perfect stocking holders.
Took you a minute to...
It did. It would not come to me. But I have searched for them, and I cannot find them. And I'm a Grinch. I don't like Christmas. I don't like the holidays. I'm really trying. So, you know, if you see something, you like it, you want it, you got it. That's what my girl Ariana Grande said. And one final bit of business. We do have new merch on our Redbubble store. So if you've got enough...
So go there, I guess.
You have to play along with me.
I am playing along with you.
But yeah, go check out our Redbubble store. All of the art is done by me. I don't know if that's good or not. But you should definitely do it. We mark it up as little as possible. Redbubble does set the minimum price, and we only mark it up the tiniest bit. So don't see those prices and get, oh my god, the Palmers are getting $25 for blah, 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 blah. No, the Palmers are getting 20 cents.
We're getting $2.
Yeah, we're getting $2.
Actually, that would be 10%. We're getting $1.
Yeah, we're getting $1. We have it as low as you can go. Now, we're not here for that. Today we're here for the Beast of Gévaudan.
Is this an Australian cattle dog?
No.
Is this a French cattle dog?
Maybe. you know, I don't... Usually when I research something, I have an idea of... By the end of it, I have an idea of what I believe it is, right? I feel like I've, at least for myself personally, solved the mystery. This time, I don't. There are still a few different things that I think it could be. In the heart of 18th century France, a shadow stalked the hills and valleys of Gévaudan. It struck without warning, a nightmare given flesh. A creature so fierce and unrelenting that it endures to this day. Was it a monstrous wolf? A pack of predators? A serial killer? Or maybe something far more sinister? In the 1760s, the Beast of Gévaudan claimed the lives of over 100 men, women, and children, leaving behind a trail of fear and speculation. Its victims were savaged in ways that defied belief. Entire villages lived in terror, nobles sent hunters, and the king himself dispatched soldiers to slay the beast. Yet no one could stop it. In today's episode, we unravel the mystery of the Beast of Gévaudan, a story of blood, folklore, and the thin line between myth and reality. What was the creature that haunted Gévaudan? And why does it continue to haunt us to this day? Prepare yourself for a journey into the macabre, where fact meets legend, and fear has fangs.
I know I've said it before, but you always set yours up like a book report.
I do, and it's okay. There are a couple of disclaimers. Please pardon any bad pronunciation. I am not French. I am very, very much Irish. So unless it's pronounced potato, it's probably going to be incorrect. And that's just how it's going to be. Another thing, if you go on Amazon like you're looking for a book and you type in Beast of Gévaudan book in Amazon, you get werewolf porn. So that's fun.
Oh no.
Yeah, you get stuff. There is a YouTube channel called Puppet History, and it is so good. It's so funny. It's so amazing. The Beast of Gévaudan, obviously this happened in the 1760s. This was long ago. None of these people are still with us. So it's hard to narrow down like what are like concrete facts versus hearsay. As we'll see as this story progresses, hysteria kind of takes over. So some things might be kind of embellished. I listened to many different podcasts. I read a lot of different articles, and every one of them said something different. So this is kind of a culmination of what I gathered to be the most interesting, if I'm being honest. The most interesting, but also the things that kind of seem more legit.
When I hear French and beast, I can't help but to think of the Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, there's a whole like kill the beast thing going on up in here. And I love it.
I've been singing it in my head.
Have you?
I have.
Oh, sing it out loud.
No.
1, 2, 3. Kill the beast.
What is this, like the stage production version?
You ready?
Well,
Ready?
I only know the Disney children's movie version.
Okay. Well, we're just going to say, kill the beast. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Kill the
Sauce.
beast. I hate you. So what did this beast look like? Like, why do they call it the Beast of Gévaudan? Why don't they call it a damn wolf? What is this thing?
If I had to guess, I'd say because it was in the province of Gévaudan.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it was some sort of beast.
Fair enough. So I actually kind of stumbled upon the Beast of Gévaudan by accident. I was researching for the Black Shuck, and I remembered seeing the statue, which I now know as the Maiden of Gévaudan, but I thought that it was a black shuck or one of like the black dogs, like the hellhounds. It's not. It's something totally different, and it turned into a rabbit hole, and now we're talking about the Beast of Gévaudan.
And here we are.
So what did it look like? It's often depicted as a black wolf, which is why I accidentally stumbled upon this cryptid, because I thought it was related to black shuck. It's not black at all. It's actually more of a tawny russet color, and it was described consistently with dark streaks or a stripe that goes down its back, a tail that's longer than a wolf's, but ending in a tuft. So it's not like a big fluffy tail. It's like a thin tail that ends in a tuft of fur. It was approximately the size of a calf, and it seemed to fly or bound across fields. It most often killed by ripping throats out. Shout out to McGruber. Mostly attacked, killed, and partially ate women and the young, but did occasionally eat lone men. As we'll see, a lot of the people that were tending the fields were mostly children.
That makes sense.
So that's why.
That's why you had children.
Right. They didn't. The wolf wasn't like, "Hey, I'm gonna eat kids today." It was like, "Hey,
I'm gonna eat kids today.
I'm gonna eat kids today." The attacks. It was a huge area. It was between 56 by 50 miles. Jean-Baptiste Duhamel, which is more like Duhadick. We'll talk about him soon.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, we don't like him. He said, "You will undoubtedly think, like I do, that this monster is a hybrid, the father of which is a lion. What the mother was remains to be seen. It could walk on its hind legs, perform astounding leaps, could repel bullets, and come back from the dead after being struck or wounded."
Repel bullets?
It could repel bullets. It's also said that it had red glowing eyes. Other things said it had scales. I mean, it gets...
The scales is a cool touch.
The scales is cool. There is one person who said it had buttons on its belly.
Buttons?
Yeah, so, and that it would laugh. There's a lot... You'll see.
That's getting scarier.
Right. So between 1764 and 1767, there were between 60 and 210 deaths attributed to the Beast of Gévaudan. Some would say more, some would say less. We don't know for sure. The first fatal victim was a girl named Jean Voulet, and puppet history calls her Jean Voulet the Beast Buffet, and I giggled a lot. She was a 14-year-old shepherdess, or she was at least the first reported death. She may not have been the first one that it actually killed. Her death certificate says that she was killed by, quote, "the ferocious beast, la bête féroce." Her throat was torn out, and she was buried without sacraments, because, 18th century France. So 2 months prior to Jean Voulet, the Beast Buffet, there was a young woman who was tending cattle, and she was attacked by a creature, quote, "like a wolf, yet not a wolf." She did escape, though, because the cattle got around her and protected her. And I read that in multiple sources, and I think it's just the sweetest, most beautiful thing ever, because that's not typical cattle behavior.
Yeah, look, I love cows, and not just to eat. I enjoy living cows. I think they probably were just like stampeding around her, and because they are large and numerous, they got in the way.
Sure, probably so.
They are not known to be brave creatures.
I just hope they didn't get eaten. Like, they saved her life.
One might have gotten eaten.
Well, no, not by the beast.
No, the beast went hungry that day.
No, he was very hungry, but the cows were like, "fuck off." And so he did.
And so he did.
And so he did.
Well, we know the Beast of Gévaudan's one weakness now. It's cows.
Cows. But allegedly the beast attacked her twice before it was thwarted. So that's kind of cool. Like, it attacked, and then like the bulls and the cattle ran it off. And it was like, nuts. And then it was like, wait a minute. I'm the Beast of Gévaudan. And then it came back. And then it was like, no. And then she was like, okay. But shortly after the first reported death, another 14-year-old girl was reported to be killed by the beast. The beast continued to mostly kill people working in the fields, which is understandable, right? They're vulnerable. They're out in the open. They're surrounded by tasty animals. Another girl was killed, and she was found without her head.
Damn.
But her head was later found about a week later. Most animals don't decapitate their prey.
Oh, you tell that to our cat.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, tell the story.
Of our outside cat that likes to decapitate animals and leave us the bodies.
Somewhere on our property is a terrifying shrine that is just the skulls of little tiny animals, little woodland babies. And one day an archaeologist is going to find that and be like, there was some fucked up shit happening at the Palmer house.
Yeah, we're talking about like at least 20 small animals ranging from rats and birds to squirrels.
At least 20. She's a murderer. The cutest little murderer, though. So then this asshole named Lafont come around, right?
Lafont?
Yeah, he's some kind of government official. And he was like, okay, guys, look, we're going to organize hunts. But the locals weren't really feeling it. He was just like...
They're like, bro.
They're like, we will die. So he was just like, y'all just kill the beast, okay? Or just stay home. Like, stop being out in the fields, you dumbass. But the people...
But my lord.
Yeah, but my lord.
We must stand in the fields if we are to tend them.
We cannot afford to stay home. And he was like, okay.
Why don't you just buy more money?
Exactly, buy more money. But he was like, hey, it's not my problem. And did that give anyone else pandemic flashbacks?
I can't talk about rich people in power telling poor people to just not be so poor, or else I might accidentally summon EW money back.
Oh no, don't do that. Unless you want to.
I don't.
Okay. So between August and September, the killings increased. And before long, terror gripped the region of Gévaudan. The beast was reportedly preying on lone men, women, and children as they tended their livestock in the forests around Gévaudan. So wolf attacks were not uncommon.
Yeah.
They happened. In fact, I think I read that it was not uncommon for like 45 people a year to die from
wolf attacks?
From wolf attacks in France during the 18th century.
Yeah.
So, but this is above average. Only a few months have passed at this point.
Right. And to be from a notable single wolf, I guess.
Allegedly.
That looks different than these other wolves.
Right. It has scales and buttons on its belly.
Yeah. Immensely fucked up.
Right. So newspapers began talking about the beast. The war was over. They really needed something to talk about. This is right at the end of the 7 Years' War. So there's a lot of hurt egos.
How long did it last?
The 7 Years' War?
Yeah.
About 45 minutes.
It felt like years.
It felt like years.
So long, God.
So the newspapers eventually began talking about the beast because they needed to talk about something. Courrier d'Avignon, which is a newspaper, started publishing likely sensationalized stories that they spread. They claimed that one person was knocked out by the animal's breath, which smelled of rot, and another boy was stricken with a fever just from the animal looking at him. I've worked with people like that.
Whose breath stank so bad they died?
Yeah. The Bishop of Vendée, Gabriel Florent de... Ooh, I am not even...
Oh, you got halfway through that name and then...
Yeah, well, I typed it. Oh.
Gabriel Florent de Choiseul-Beaupré?
Also the Count of Gévaudan.
Okay, is that what we'll call him from now on? The Count of Gévaudan?
The Count of Gévaudan. He does count, I assure you he does. He called for prayer and penance. Clearly, this was a punishment from God. Actually sent out a text, which was like a scroll, not like an actual... No, I had to put that in my notes.
Click, 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 click.
Right,
like,
yeah.
Hey, bitch, you awake?
Yeah. Everyone's like, what? New phone, who dis? But he did. He sent out this scroll, and all of the priests had to read it to their faithful. In it, he invokes, quote unquote, the justice of God, as well as a quote by Moses, I will arm the teeth of wild beasts against them. And they also had 40 hours.
That kicks ass.
It kind of does.
That's like some straight Beastmaster stuff.
Yes, it
I
is.
will arm the teeth of beasts against them.
Right? But then they also had 40 hours of straight devotion, which is,
Like no
2
breaks?
days. Like no breaks.
No breaks?
I guess not.
You gotta stay up for 40 hours praying to God?
Maybe they took shifts.
I was gonna say, if you spent 40 hours praying to God and he didn't kill the Beast of Gévaudan, I'd be a little pissed off.
Yeah, understandably so.
I wouldn't give $1 that Sunday in the collection plate. That's all I'm saying.
But by late 1764, there were rumors that there were 2 beasts because so many attacks were happening simultaneously and extremely far apart. Which this is not that far-fetched. If you're going to have one giant-ass bitch-eating wolf-lion hybrid, why not have 2?
Bitch eating.
Bitch eating.
Gobbling up all the bitches.
Please spare some bitches. Others reported that they had babies with them. And this is where I would like to insert that Obsessed with the Palmer is a childless cat lady podcast, but we do advocate for spaying and neutering your cryptids. Okay, thanks.
Wait, what had babies with the Beast of Gévaudan?
Another beast.
Oh, okay, all right.
There was a little beast family.
Oh, okay.
Little beast, mommy and daddy and babies. And they had cranberry sauce.
And they had little beastlings.
Oh, they had little beastlings. I actually told Clay the other day that I think that our German Shepherd puppy is the reincarnation of the Beast of Gévaudan. And you can kind of see why.
I was going to say, looking at that picture of the Beast of Gévaudan where it's chewing on the back of some poor serf's skull, I was like, yeah, that looks like our dog.
It does.
She would do that to me.
She would. She's very mouthy. Like, she doesn't sniff things like a normal dog. Like, you're like, hey, what's this? You want to smell? Like, well, this goes beyond puppy chewing. She's like, she doesn't sniff. She bites. She's like a little shark. Like, she's not being aggressive. She just like bite, bite, bite. Okay.
Yeah, all
bite,
sensory
bite, bite.
input
Okay.
is collected via the teeth.
Exactly. So there was this little boy named Jacques Portefeuille. He was 10 years old, so almost an elderly person in 18th century France.
Certainly old enough to till the fields.
Right. So it was him and it was 7 other kids, and they were just being kids, dicking around. and they got attacked, but they managed to scare the beast away, allegedly. So this was what caught the attention of King Louis XV, who offered 300 livres to Portefeuille and another 350 to be shared among his companions. So that's a lot of money. That's about the equivalent of a year's worth of wages.
Oh.
So that was a very significant... 350 doesn't sound like a lot, but for them, it was a lot.
Yeah, well, for legally indentured servants.
Right. But the king also paid for Portefeuille's education and stated that the French state would help find and kill the beast. Now, at this point, the English journalists were like, LOL, France has an animal control issue, skibbity toilet, because that's how they text.
I'm deleting that.
Please don't.
I am not putting that on the internet.
Actually, please do delete that. Like just kind of poking fun, like, couldn't win the war, and now you have an overpopulation of animals. Oh, what a loser. So, this upset King Louis, and he offered a 6,000 livre bounty on the beast's head. So with this, a military hunt began. Over 30,000 men joined, likely to try and recover some honor after the war, led by Duhamel, who's a dick. These people had guns. So this is something that I should have mentioned before. At this time, it was illegal for anyone other than the aristocracy to own guns.
Okay.
So guns existed, but there were, like, these villagers were helpless. If they were lucky, they had a staff, maybe a spear. But most
they can make one.
They could make one. But like most of these people, they're tending the fields.
They had farm tools. Those
they
are
had
weapons.
farm tools, but they didn't have guns. So the people of Gévaudan were not volunteering to help, probably because they didn't have guns.
Yeah.
And they couldn't afford to. So these hunters, they had some ways about them. The hunters they'd set out poison bait. That makes sense, sure.
Yeah, I do that when I'm playing Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah, me too.
Try to get the Devil Joe to take some paralysis meat.
Oh man, fuck Devil Joe. But they would send, because the beast, okay, so remember the beast would attack mainly women and children. Right. And occasionally men.
Oh, so they poisoned a woman and threw her out into the fields.
Better. They sent military men out dressed up like women to try to lure the beast in. He would...
I like the idea of like tricking this business. Well, he only goes after women, so makeover.
And then there's a really cute transition.
This is where we make a joke about French men or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, we'll just edit that in later.
Right. We'll come up with it at like 3 in the morning.
We'll come up with a witty joke about
French
men.
So this guy, he would have straight up like wolf hunting parties. And the sad thing is, it was honestly probably safer being in the hunting party as opposed to being out in the fields.
Yeah.
Because you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes with guns.
Well, the idea is like you're alone in a field. That's when you get eaten. You get gobbled up by a beast. Not when you're in a horde of fully armed men.
Right. And allegedly, I read this in some sources, not in others. Allegedly, Duhadik would not let new victims be buried, just in case the beast chose to revisit its kills. It got to where people wouldn't report deaths because they didn't want their loved ones' bodies to be disrespected like that. He'd also allegedly, if you found out you buried your loved one, would like dig them back up and leave them out for bait.
Okay, but did the Beast of Gévaudan ever at any point go back to revisit his kills to make this man think that that is something that would happen?
Like I said, he's a dick. Maybe.
Because so far you haven't mentioned that.
No.
It's like he just killed them and then off he fucked.
Right.
So
Pretty
this guy's
much.
just like...
Sometimes he ate them, sometimes he didn't. Mostly just tore their throats out and or beheaded them.
This guy's like, I've invented a new tendency, a new MO that our killer has. And he does this now, even though he's never done it before.
Right. But the thing that really, really made me hate Duhadik is that he would leave out, probably found some of them dead, but he would also kill animals to leave as bait. But dogs and cats.
Why dogs and cats?
Because he's a dick.
So far, the only thing this thing has killed is farm animals and people watching the farm animals.
And so far, all we know is it's killed people.
Oh, I thought it had killed some of them.
I mean, it probably did, but like, there's only reports about the people.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, that's great. And nobody liked him, and he probably smelled terrible. Not because he's French, because he's a dick. Screw that guy. But after Duhadik failed, because he was a failure, the king...
God dang.
Yeah, fuck that guy. The king sent out 2 professional wolf hunters. So the Denevals, they were a father and son hunting team from Normandy, and they were acclaimed wolf killers. They'd killed over 1,200 wolves, documented. And they took a more stealthy approach to wolf hunting. They even used bloodhounds. So whereas Duhadik was like, storm the forest, they were more like, let's track the beast.
Yeah, let us hunt this creature like we have hunted creatures for thousands of years.
Right, yeah, and they even used bloodhounds. Like, they were on it, right? But it didn't work. So next, King Louis XV sent out Francois Antoine. The quote for him is, he's got a fuck ton of guns.
Why is that? Who's that quote attributed to?
That's from Puppet History. It was amazing. It's so good. Please go watch Puppet History. Antoine was Louis XV's personal gun bearer and bodyguard. And this man was allegedly 71 years old.
Damn.
So this was an old bitch, but he had seen some things and some stuff. Now, the average life expectancy at this time was like somewhere between 20 and 30.
Right.
So he was a sagely old man. Next, we get to talk about the Maid of Gévaudan, Marie-Jean Vallée. She was a 20-year-old, so an elderly peasant girl. She was crossing a bridge with some other women. Some sources say it was her sister. Some just say it was other girls in the village. Don't really know. But the beast appeared, but she managed to spear it in the chest, thus fending it off.
Damn, she just had a spear?
She just had a spear.
Look, I guess if the beast is in the woods, you keep that thing on you.
Right, yeah. So she fended it off. It ran away wounded, and Antoine was like, no way, what? So the Maid of Gévaudan, she's the one in the statue of the girl stabbing the beast.
Oh, okay.
That's her. So the beast got away. She didn't kill it, but it was badass enough. But she didn't kill it. She's not the one attributed with its death.
But she got to do something
she
so
did
dope
something
that they made a
so
statue.
so dope that they made a statue. So Antoine, who is like the 71-year-old like personal bodyguard of the king, is like, no, wait, what? And so he came to check out the area. So he came around, he tracked where the beast went, and he did come upon a massive wolf. And he killed it, and then later he came back and killed the mate and the pups because dick alert.
I thought you were going to say he came back and killed the maiden.
Yeah, he was like, no one out-pizzas the hut, and then he shot her. But notably one of the puppies, which it doesn't really say if they were like puppies or if they were like adolescent puppies, but one of them was said to have had double dew claws. So dew claws are those little side nails, like there's like your paws, and then up the leg a little bit, there's that little, I guess, where the thumb would be. So that's a dew claw. And only certain breeds...
Also known as the silly toe.
The silly toe. So this is often seen in dogs like Great Pyrenees. This isn't typically a wolf trait. So it kind of lends to the theory that maybe it was a wolf dog hybrid. We don't really know. But Antoine himself stated, We declare by the present report signed from our hand, we never saw a big wolf that could be compared to this one. Hence, we believe this could be the fearsome beast that caused so much damage. Many survivors confirmed that this was the beast based on its appearance and some defensive wounds. A giant wolf was stuffed, taxidermied, and then sent off as a gift to Louis XV, but it was just a big wolf. The king was like, cool, so wolf infestation.
He's like, man, I was really hoping.
Yeah, I was really hoping.
He's like, I heard one person say it had scales, and that freaked me right the fuck out.
But then he was just kind of like, oh, thanks. This was so nice. But yeah, case closed.
I'm going to put it right here on the fridge.
So the Beast of Gévaudan was placed on his fridge.
Right.
So case closed, right? Giant wolf, stuffed it, sent it to the king. Also, side note, how derpy do you think it looked?
Oh, yeah, not...
It looked silly
This
as
is
hell.
old school taxidermy. That boy looked... That boy looked goofy.
He did. But the killings kept on killing for a little over a year. But King Louis was like, not my problem. I've moved on from this beast.
He's like, nah, I got a dead wolf.
Yeah, I don't
in my parlor.
I don't collect taxidermy. Maybe he did, but like he's like, I don't want this.
I mean, every hobby's got to start somewhere.
Fair enough. But even though the killings continued, the newspapers stopped reporting it. Like everyone kind of lost interest. Like, case closed. They found it. They killed it. Whatever. But the attacks would continue to ebb and flow. The people felt understandably defeated. No help was coming from the crown. All they could do was pray. The beast reportedly killed a few more times before the deaths actually stopped. At last, a man named Jean Castel killed the beast, allegedly the true beast, with a silver bullet. True story. Legend says that they were made from melted Virgin Mary metals. And this was thought to be the beginning of the silver bullets kill werewolves.
Oh.
Yeah. So there is a fact the beast was shot with a silver bullet. We don't know that they were holy relics versus just a silver bullet.
Yeah, was the purpose that it was made of silver, or was the purpose that it was made from melted down Virgin Mary statues?
Right. Either way, it's cool as hell.
Yeah.
They displayed the body, but they did an actual like necropsy report. So somebody actually examined the remains. Of course, we don't have the remains.
Yeah. They didn't stuff those.
Right. The animal, which seemed to be a wolf, but extraordinary and very different by its figure and its proportions from the wolves one sees in this country. The beast had 42 teeth, which likely points it to being some kind of canine. The body was riddled with wounds and scars. It's assumed to be a wolf or a wolf-dog hybrid. Unfortunately, this body was not in the best condition, and human remains were indeed found in the belly.
Oh.
So, again, many victims confirmed that it was indeed the beast that attacked them. Allegedly, people took pieces of the beast as souvenirs. You know how they would, like dead man's blood?
Right.
The theory that if you take a piece of something, you can gain some of its vitality. Allegedly, people were, like, stealing pieces of the beast, too.
I mean, but wouldn't you, like, take a tooth and be like, this tooth, and, like, put it on a necklace and be like, this tooth belonged to the Beast of Gévaudan?
Oh, I so would.
Right,
I
exactly.
love that shit. That's so cool. So, they tried to bring this body to the king. They were like, wait, no, this is the true Beast of Gévaudan. The other one was a beast, but not the beast. But the state of the remains, it had been on display.
Oh, no.
It was very nasty. It was pretty gross, and it stank. Between bugs, decay, and the heat, it was not pleasant at all.
God.
And so it was buried. So they buried what was left of it. Likely in a private garden. Not
Yeah, somebody's like, I call dibs on the bones.
Yeah, right. I wish I would have saved him. It said that the stench that came from the dead animal was so foul that it kept people sick for years.
Holy shit. I mean, look, it probably did stink to high shit because, like, it ain't like you could just pop into a car and drive down the street to like the king's house or whatever. Like travel took time.
Right.
That bad boy was dead for like 2 months before it
Right.
reached the royal chambers.
Yeah, it was just, it may have only been displayed for 12 days or whatever it was, but then it had to travel. So that was no fun. This ended the reign and bloodshed of the Beast of Gévaudan. However, the legend continues to haunt us. There is a museum dedicated to the Beast of Gévaudan. I read that it's 4 floors, and it looks from the pictures kind of super spooky. It's got lots of like mannequins and dim lighting, and yeah.
Super spooky.
So there's actually 2 memorials, I guess, to the Beast of Gévaudan. One is the Maiden of Gévaudan, which is the statue of Marie-Jeanne stabbing the beast in the chest.
Yeah, that whip's ass. Is that still like on display?
Yes, you can Google it. It's really cool.
Oh man,
it comes across my newsfeed every now and then. Like I said, I thought it was Black Shuck. It's not. It's the Beast of Gévaudan.
that's a whole ass other thing.
It's a whole.
This is the granddaddy of werewolves.
It is. It's the #1 werewolf. But it's 4 floors, super spooky, lots of mannequins, dim lighting, that sort of thing. Looks. I would go. And then there's a monument to Jean Chastel, the man who did eventually kill the alleged beast.
Right, with the silver bullet.
Right. So what was the beast? Well, the one theory, the one I found the most interesting, was that it was a human serial killer who trained an animal to carry out crimes, such as a armored war dog, which sounds dope. There's even a theory that it was Jean Chastel himself. He actually raised red mastiffs. So remember, the beast was a russet or tawny color.
Yeah, it was big as hell.
It was big as hell. So, and if you have a mastiff wolf hybrid, possibly.
God, I don't even want to see what that looks like.
Yeah. There's a theory that the beast was indeed fathered by one of his dogs and then armored with boar skin, which would have provided the thick hide and bizarre appearance. What about a wolf? Just a wolf. Wolf attacks were very common. Author J.M. Smith, she wrote Monsters of the Gévaudan, The Making of a Beast, believes it was actually just a very bad wolf infestation. Many argue that too many attacks happened simultaneously and too far apart for a single wolf. There was an infestation of wolves, and wolves travel in packs. If you have some big, giant mutant wolves, okay, and they're eating the people, why not have a whole pack?
Why have one when you could have 12?
Right, it's Black Friday. So that probably makes the most sense. Probably not a werewolf, as cool as that is, and like just how dope to be the beginning of the werewolf and Silver Bullet. That's so cool. Probably not really a werewolf, because remember the difference between a werewolf and a dog man is
as we've discussed.
That was so nerdy. We did discuss that. But the difference is that the werewolf has a supernatural element. You know, like it's a person that turns into a wolf, whereas a dog man is like a creature. Allegedly. Another theory is that it was a bear. I know you're probably thinking, bears, lions, tiger. No, those things aren't native to France. Well, no, but there are menageries were huge at the time. A menagerie is like a personal circus. Right. You know, like just a bunch of
a traveling zoo.
Sure, but a bunch of exotic animals, and they're beautiful.
Are they?
I mean, the animals are beautiful.
Okay.
Menageries are not beautiful.
All right,
well,
I was gonna say
menageries are maybe beautiful. Just be good to your animals.
You know they didn't.
No, not in
18th
century France. Absolutely not.
Too many circuses and zoos today are getting in trouble for mistreating their animals.
True.
You know it was worse back then.
Definitely. Another theory is that it could have been an escaped hyena. Hyenas are pretty big. It would explain the laughing, would explain the stripes, but...
And a little tuft at the tail, right? Don't
they have a little tuft at the tail, but they don't have particularly long tails. And to me, the thing that stands out the most about a hyena is how they're kind of hunchbacked.
Yeah.
And that's
and
never
somebody would
mentioned.
say something about it laughing at them or something because of that terrible noise they make.
Right. Well, someone did say it laughed at them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but it had like buttons on its stomach or something.
Right.
Where's that? What's going on with that dude? What's...
I have a theory about where the buttons thing came from, actually. And then...
Okay, so like a bear But like with mange, I guess. Like what?
And that's another thing. I mean, it could have been a gigantic wolf dog hybrid, you know, that had mange and has the little twig tail.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. So that's possible, and they're sick and they're desperate and they ate people because they were hungry.
They're hungry.
They were hungry. But to me, it almost sounds like a thylacine. So like the Tasmanian tiger. Have you seen those? The ones that open their mouth almost 180
Yeah.
degrees. They're so cool, but they have stripes, a big mouth, the long skinny tail.
And
But
they weren't extinct back then.
no, they were not. But the theory that makes the most sense, and National Geographic kind of agreed with this, is a lion, a subadult male lion. Menageries, like we said, they were very popular. Lions are ambush predators. They have long claws, so people said the beast had talons. Lions kind of have talons.
Yeah.
They launch themselves, which could easily explain the walking on two legs. Cats do that derpy shit where they kind of sit up on their back end and like paw at you.
Right. Well, they swipe with their front paws, so there is
Right.
a little bit of backpedaling with their hind legs.
Sure. And they kill by striking at the throat or the muzzle. And a bite to the throat could easily decapitate you too.
Yeah.
And they had a huge territory. And remember the Savo lions. It takes their hide is very, very thick.
Yeah.
Thought they're dead, they're not.
So what, then just escaped from a menagerie?
Right. That's the theory. It was a subadult male lion that didn't have the full beard because they knew what lions were, but a lion has the big mane.
Right, if you had a maneless, maybe mangy lion.
Oh, did I say beard? Because I meant mane. But they kind of have
It's like a beard.
they kind of have a beard too. But so if a subadult male lion, or like the Savo lions, didn't have manes. So if they had a partial mane or not a full mane, lions have the stripe down their back.
Right.
So that's possible.
And I mean, we talk about people know what lions are, but like, they didn't have Google.
They didn't, and you gotta
or zoos
remember
that they could travel to.
right, and you gotta
So,
remember the way they drew them.
Right, yeah, made them look different than how they are in reality.
Made them
So
look
yeah, if you saw like a strange looking lion, you might think it was something else completely.
Sure, and that would explain it being the size of a calf.
Yeah, that would explain it being really big, because lions are in fact really big.
They are, and wolves are big too. Like wolves are bigger than
Yeah, people forget
you
how
think
big
they're
an
gonna
actual
be.
wolf is.
Like they're bigger than a big dog.
Yeah. You won't have a dog the size of a wolf.
No. So, I don't know what it really was. I would love to have been able to see the bodies myself, and that is a really dark thing to say. But I think it would be so cool to examine them.
Yeah, so guy who owns the bones.
You know who you are. You know that's a family secret.
Right, bring it to us. We want to know. Tell us your secrets.
Please.
Guy who owns the bones.
Guy who owns the bones.
A prestigious title indeed.
That sounds kind of cool. I don't know what it was. I went into it thinking, oh, it's a lion. It's definitely a lion.
But now you're not sure?
Now I kind of think it was a pack of wolves or wolf dog hybrids. Oftentimes,
Yeah, probably wolves. Well, random wolves is probably the right answer. I like the idea of it being a lion or a trained dog of a serial killer. That's a thread that nobody's really done. I haven't seen a movie with something like that.
No, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And my thought about the buttons on the belly is, you know how cats have those spots on their belly, like on their fur? Sometimes.
I guess.
Well, lions have that too. So if a lion was getting ready to pounce and you saw his bell, his bell, and you saw the spots, you might think they're buttons.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that guy was on some shit.
Yeah.
He was on his shit. I guess let us rate the Beast of Gévaudan.
Ooh, let us.
How likely are you to survive an encounter with the Beast of Gévaudan?
Do I know what the Beast of Gévaudan is? Like, do I have my knowledge, or am I a 18th century farmer?
I mean, this would be, I guess, with your knowledge, but also your capabilities.
I'd be fine.
You'd be fine?
Yeah, I'd be fine. I'd give myself like a solid 7 and a
7?
half. Yeah.
All right. Why do you think you'll do so good?
Because it'll enhance my aura in that I love it. And then we'll be...
I don't think that's going to do it. I guess I'd give myself a 4. I mean, if it's a lion, probably not going to live. The lion will kill me. If it's a wolf, probably also not going to live because I think a wolf would kill me. If it's a bear, I know I'm dead.
You're so dead.
I'm dead as hell. So, like, even if it's not a mythological creature, I'm probably still dead. I only give myself a 4 because if there are cows present, apparently that will that will keep me alive. So most of the weight on that score is coming from if there are cows nearby.
I love that.
How spooky do you think the Beast of Gévaudan is?
It's pretty spooky. I mean, especially if you don't know what it is and there's just something. But again, do I know what I know, or am I a villager? Am I just to assume I'm me, Caitlin, this whole time?
Well, I don't think you've got, like, an Auspex up and running that's going to tell you that this is the Beast of Gévaudan. Mm-hmm. It's whatever it is has approached you.
That's spooky as fuck.
That spooky? I don't think it's that spooky.
Really?
Well, because then it would just be kind of an animal, I guess.
Yeah, but if you're not expecting an animal.
Yeah, I guess if I'm not expecting an animal.
Right. I'd give it a 2 spooky for me, especially if its eyes do the thing.
Okay. I'll give it a spoop.
Okay.
Just because likely if it was one of those animals, it would be an ambush predator, so
right.
I wouldn't see it until it was upon me.
So
and that would scare the shit out of me.
Right. So, okay, in the first one where I was like, oh, I will definitely survive it, I was assuming it was during the day and I was working in the field.
I mean, but you still wouldn't have seen it creep up on you. I mean, lions will hunt during the day, but their prey don't see them neither.
That's true. I guess I'm not looking at the... Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're
that
not in a hallway
everything.
with it.
That changes everything! Okay, I'm dead.
Oh, you're dead?
I'm dead, and it's spooky. It's too spooky for me.
Okay. How likely was it to have actually existed?
I believe that happened. Like, there was an animal that killed a lot of people, and or a group of animals that killed a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the question kind of comes down to... was there a beast that could not be recognized as another animal, or was it the result of animal attacks? Because obviously people died. Yeah. Like, people were killed by something, and it was likely some form of animal, whether it's a cataloged one or not.
Sure. I think there was an animal, but I don't think it was a supernatural animal. Like, I don't think it was like a demon sent here to punish us for thinking about
for
butts.
Not praying for 41 straight hours instead of only 40.
Right. Yeah.
All right, well, 1 through 10.
Assign value?
Assign value to it.
How likely is it that it existed at 10?
10?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it killed something. It had to exist. The question is whether it is that thing or some creation of our imagination.
Right.
Well, all right, so it existed, but how likely was it to be an alien?
I was like, wait, there's an alien question in here? And that's why I got confused, because I was thinking about aliens. I don't think the Beast of Gévaudan was an alien.
You don't think that, like, aliens drop down some sort of, like,
Space wolves?
Space wolf?
Space wolves.
Oh, no.
Space wolves.
Like the Astartes space wolves.
Yeah, from Battle Axe.
Hey, look, a Astartes space wolf that had gone wolfing, that is a werewolf.
That
is a werewolf. I'm gonna say it's 1 though. I don't think it's an alien.
Yeah, I'd give it if I have to assign a numeric value to it, I'd give it like a 1.
Yeah, I don't think aliens had a hand in this one.
No, not this time.
Not this time. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the next episode? Yeah, maybe next time.
Maybe next. Well, friends, that has been the Beast of Gévaudan. If you would like to request a topic and or which of us to discuss it, please email those inquiries to
obsessedwiththepalmers@yahoo.com.
You can also follow us on Blue Sky and Facebook.
You really had to think about that, huh? It's
no,
all the information loading.
So I was a little embarrassed because not many people I'm an old lady, so I do use Facebook.
Some people use Facebook.
Yeah, and I use Facebook, but I was thinking, I was trying to figure out how to word it. So we had an Instagram.
Right.
And I don't have that email anymore. I don't have that computer that had that email anymore. I cannot get into this Instagram account. So I'm debating on starting a new one. What are y'all's thoughts? And is there anything I can do to recover that account?
Yeah, if you're a tech specialist, let us know. Also, if you're French, I'm sorry, I guess. We dunked on you pretty hard this episode.
We actually have a very French friend who we were like, please sit in on this with us. And she was like, no.
No. I shall not. Well, all right.
All right, guys. See you next time. Bye.